Hello, you're watching SME On Point. My name is Sito. Thank you so much for staying with SABC News. An entrepreneur is encouraging people to start their own oyster mushrooms businesses and join a growing industry worth about $3 billion globally. Mushroom farming has been identified as one of agricultural sectors that have the potential to stimulate equitable and inclusive growth. According to the South African Farmers Association, South Africa produces about 21,000 tons of mushrooms per year, and these are exported mostly to neighboring countries including Namibia and Mauritius. Daniel Motswane hosts workshops on particularly growing oyster mushrooms, and he's convinced that these types of mushrooms are the next best big thing. Daniel Motswane is the founder of Afrique Rising Trading and has taken it upon himself to train aspiring entrepreneurs to grow oyster mushrooms. He believes this is a good ground to start small businesses in communities.
The oyster mushroom actually is quite big globally because they are the second largest grown mushrooms in the world. Yeah, it's only that in our areas like here, you find very few people that are growing oyster mushrooms, and that is why now we are introducing oyster mushrooms as a commodity that is going to impact lives because of the labor intensive part of it. When it comes now to the growing, it entails it needs quite a lot of people.
Having been researched over years, oyster mushrooms are an excellent source of protein and are more popular in India and China. Motswane says this is where his sights are set as a potential export market. This is why he goes around the country offering the know-how of getting into the industry. He says the first stop is the theoretical knowledge of how to grow the mushrooms.
For one to start this project, really, one can start even from 1,000 rand. That's how low one can start, because you see we do have the ready-to-fruit buckets, for example, where one can buy one maybe for about 150 rand. So in terms of starting the business with oyster mushroom, one can start really from very low and then up to wherever one wants to go. The tools that one needs, first, it is the inputs that are readily available, as we mentioned, that, we can use maize stalks, we can use maize cobs, which are things that are actually being thrown away. The other thing that is being used, as you can see maybe on the race, the coconut pit or the coconut quiet. So the people throw away coconut. If you go around town, you see people having coconut, and then we take those, and then with that we can then create a growing medium. So that's the lovely thing about oyster mushrooms, where one is sitting at home and not knowing what they can do. They can come onto our program, and then we capacitate them, to grow these mushrooms.
According to Motswane, this group will go back home and study the notes. Then will start growing their own mushrooms, first for home consumptions. After that, they will be taught on how to commercialize the project into viable small businesses.
In terms of their communities, what we always ask them to do is to go home, group themselves, work together, form cooperatives, so that they can be able to grow commercially, because we have secured the partners, the funding partners that are coming on board to come and fund the project. And whether a person is an individual mushroom grower or it's a cooperative, we've partnered with different funders that wants to fund the program nationally. So we're looking at creating quite a lot of not only jobs. We don't want really to create jobs, but we want to create entrepreneur or mushroompreneurs, as we normally call them here.
Sito, SABC News, Johannesburg. Yep, you're definitely so right. Those were mushrooms growing out of buckets. So from what I learned sitting in that workshop yesterday, that you don't need land, but you do need space where you can put those buckets in, and you can grow them, and you can also make them into dumpling, into bread, into stir fries, and you can sell them to other people as well. So if you are a aspiring mushroompreneur, please hit us up on our Facebook page so that we can link you up with Mdade Daniel Mutwane, who will tell you about how you can be part of their workshop so that you can gain a skill yourself and also start your own oyster mushroom farm. We are still on the farming tip, where livestock farmers in the Eastern Cape have received a boost from the provincial government, who handed them much needed new blood to strengthen their flocks. The youth are among the recipients. This is part of an effort to improve their stocks and make them globally competitive. The province is on a drive to ensure farmers move from a subsistence to commercial farming, and we have invited one of the recipients, Dintle Maphala, to chat to us about how this will enhance her entrepreneurial journey. Dintle, welcome to SME On Point, and thank you so much for joining us. Tell me about what this means for you as a young farmer, this boost from the government. As a young farmer, how is it going to improve your business? And tell us a little bit about your business and what it is that you do.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Dintle Maphala. I'm a young farmer from the Eastern Cape Jogabi district. I'm doing Angora goat farming, and I'm doing Brangus beef cattle and Lomond Brown chicken layers.
Yeah, tell us about what it is like to be
Hello?
a female. Tell us about what it is like to be a female and to also be a farmer, particularly in the Eastern Cape. What kind of challenges do you go through, and what kind of opportunities have you been afforded?
Okay. As a young female farmer, when I came into the industry, it was a bit difficult because, one, you're not sure of the financial, who's going to help you, how will you start. And luckily for me, my parents gave me a farm. They already had a farm, which is 287 hectares. So they gave me a farm so that I can start. And then, luckily for me, I got assisted by Office of the Premier. They actually built the structure for me, and they gave me belief that in this farming, I will go further.
Yeah. Take us through
and improving the quality of the livestock I have.
Yeah. Tell us about other opportunities that one has when you are in cattle farming, for instance. I know that there are a lot of people who are watching, who are seeing the cattle behind you and are thinking, this is where I'd like to be. What is the easiest way to start? I know you said your parents helped you, but what have you learned along the way about how one another Dintle elsewhere can start?
Okay. When you want something and when you are in entrepreneurship, you start where you can afford. Like if you can buy yourself maybe one or two, and then when you do your work, you must do it out of your own heart, and you must show passion and like give it your all, so that you can get attention from the outside finders, so that we can assist you. Because not all of us have got the financial muscle to start a business. And when you are in the business, you must always make sure that you are. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please continue, Dintle.
Yes, yeah. When you are in the business, you have to ensure that your business grows as well.
What kind of skills have you learned about financial management of a farm since you got into farming? I'm sure this is a skill that was passed on to you by your parents. Can you share that with us?
Number one, recording everything will also assist you. The medication, how much you spent on medication, and how much you spent on dipping, and everything that you do at the farm must be recorded. The calves that you got, and basically everything. When you do recording, you will see whether this business that I'm doing is it improving or is it not improving? Then you mustn't also look at the one thing, because I also didn't look at the one thing. And there is always obstacles when you are, or maybe rather say challenges when you are doing something like one thing. For instance, I also have the goat farming, and in the other instance of the in 2019, where I had 200 goats die in one day. So you also have to cover yourself in instance like that. Like if there's drought and there's then you have money for you in order for you to buy your livestock.
Yeah.
And ensure sustainability as well.
Yes, let's spend the last few minutes talking about the what you received today from the MEC and the Premier. How is it going to enhance? Tell us how many you received and how it's going to enhance the already existing livestock.
Okay, what I got from the Office of the Premier and really helped me a lot, because I'm a smallholder, and looking forward, I'm going very far towards commercial farming. And instead of me buying fodder for my livestock, I got a tractor now. I am actually planting fodder for my stock for supplementary feeding. So meaning I won't be buying everything. I will also be producing some of the fodder from my own farm.
Wow.
And this will enable me to go into commercial stage. And also the quality of the goats that I got from also Mohe Farm and Trust is also assisting me, because instead of having low quality, I've got the top quality. And we're not talking about quantity only, also talking about quality.
Wow. That's beautiful, Dintle. Thank you so much for joining us on Point, and congratulations on what you have been gifted with. We wish you all the best of luck with your farm. Dintle Mapala is one of the recipients that got livestock from the Department of Agriculture in the Eastern Cape. The Premier as well as the MEC that were there to give out these goats as well as cows to young and other entrepreneurs and farmers, really to try and boost the agricultural sector. That side, for the story that she shares with us about at some point having 200 goats die in one day, speaks to the resilience that one has to have when you are in farming. Certainly not something that not all of us have. Can you imagine 200 goats dying in one day? The amount of money that you would need to replace that, and also, you know, just working backwards. I can imagine that it must be quite frustrating. But people like Dintle, they were born to do this, and hopefully one day we will go to the Eastern Cape and spend the day with her. As I said before, our handle is at SME on Point on Facebook. We have been talking about growing your oyster mushroom farm. If you want to know how to do that, go to our page. We will be uploading this segment there, and also to hear more about Dintle's story about the gifts that she got from the government. That is all we have for you for this week. Remember, support small businesses in your communities. Let's make those raisins circulate more news with Nastasia after this break.